glad to see you this afternoon to talk about your work.
I'm very happy to be here.
We finished putting the exhibition up yesterday.
We did, it's 6 o'clock, just in time, yeah.
Although it's not been officially opened yet, we have had visitors already to the gallery this morning.
I believe so.
Yes, as we had a visit from the university. So, how many years has it been, Phil, since you've actually been painting?
It's been many years in many different guises. I studied at the Rinwick School of Art and Design back in the early 80s. Then I was painting in Dublin for some years, had a couple of paintings. I've been painting for many years. I did have this long detour in philosophy, which I started at the University of Bolton Institute of Higher Education as it was then. I did think I was going to pursue that, but then after some years the painting just became insistent and came back. So it's been a long time in many different places.
Yes, it's a long journey, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
You were here last year, I believe, Phil, as artist in residence.
Yes, I was very lucky to be. I was very fortunate to be invited to be the artist in residence here, which was incredibly exciting. And in essence, what that meant was I spent a long amount of time. I spent some weeks here just walking around, looking, and of course, there's many things to be captivated by here at the station. But the main thing, I suppose, is obviously people moving around. So I did a lot of rapid drawings, a lot of sketches. Some longer sketches, some of which are in the exhibition here, and then they were displayed as a kind of little mini exhibition here. But my view was then somehow, I didn't know how, was to work them up into larger paintings. So basically that's what I did, and I just became really struck by aspects of people moving around the station, because of course they're in between. You're catching a journey. It could be in between journeys. So you're getting people, sudden fragments and sudden moments of journeys of people moving in between trains, waiting around, whatever. So the more I looked and the more I did these sketches, the more I realised there was just so much more that I could work on. So I had that mini exhibition last year. That was about October, with a view to sometime this year having an exhibition of paintings. So I didn't know how I was going to do it, and I just did all these rapid drawings. And then at the start of this year, then I started working on these paintings, these larger paintings that are all 4x2. And the reason they're 4x2 is to accentuate the vertical nature of the figure.
Yes.
And then moving on from the drawings, many other things struck me about the figures. And that was the platform, etc.
Let's talk a little bit more about the figures, because one thing that strikes me is, although they are recognisable, obviously, as individuals, you haven't focused too much on the details of their faces. Is that on purpose? You've done that, presumably?
It is, because when I started these group of paintings at the beginning of the year, and what I wanted to do was somehow, and of course, I was saying this to Mark earlier, I can't illustrate movement or dynamism or energy. In other words, I can't illustrate it, but to somehow render it in a way. So yes, you're absolutely right, the details didn't matter. What mattered was that the figure became a sort of momentary coalescence of energy and movement. And then with these paintings, it was about how the figure influenced the space and it's in. So, you know, these figures are fully inhabiting space. They're not sort of cardboard cutouts with a background. So, as I started painting, I mean, I tried different ways. Some of them at the beginning didn't work. A lot of them were changed as they went along. And only when it reached a certain pitch did I then think it had that visual impact of the figure as I glimpsed them. So, yes, absolutely, it's intentional not to delineate them, because basically, for me, that wouldn't be, it would be too far removed from people's real experience, because as you're walking around the station, you don't experience people in delineation, or you have glimpses. and those glimpses can be partial, but because everything's moving and you're moving, it is about different forces. So, you know, these figures are, you know, they're moving in space. So that's one force in another force.
So, the title of the exhibition, Phil,
Oh,
is
yes.
called Different Stations.
Different
Could
stations.
you just explain perhaps the different meanings of the title for us?
Yeah, well, basically, it took a while to come up with it. I mean, obviously, it had to be something that would tie it all together. And the whole point is that, very simply, is it is one station, it's Bolton stations, but it is, of course, to each of these travellers on their odyssey, a different station. So in a way, that was quite simple. It was different stations, the stations in different the station in different forms as it takes as part of these people, the figures moving around of their journey.
Yes.
They're hurtling towards, well, not hurtling towards, literally,
Yes.
but towards a destination.
Of course, there is another meaning of the word stations, to take up your station.
Exactly, that's right.
Your position.
Position, yeah, so that was another aspect of the word station, as in this is their position, so their station is where they are at that point in time. So it was just playing around with the connotations of difference and stations, yeah.
The palette you've used, the range of colours, would you like to explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's well, the palette always kind of dictates itself. I mean, I can never. Oh, well, I have to say, all the colours are basically here in the railway station. Obviously, these paintings aren't naturalistic, so I therefore haven't exactly matched the colour. But the colour is always influenced by the physical location that's inspired it. So, and in this case, again, this is something else that you only realise when you look for a long time and spend a long time in a place. Is, you know, you would go out on the station platform and say, this is bluey grey. When it's wet, it's a dark bluey grey. But of course, it's not. It's much more than that. There were times when I looked at the station, and that's why you get effects in here that I've exaggerated them for dramatic effect, because it is a work of art, not real. Is, you know, the more I looked at the station, I could see like the yellow reflected in the concrete, the blue from some of the pillars. Sometimes you see that. So even within this, that as I said earlier, became like a stage. Then there were lots of other colours and textures. But the colours basically they all came from my observations of figures moving around the platform. And I've accentuated them, probably not the yellow band is in different lights. That's kind of that cadmium yellow that it is. So yeah, so all the colours come from this physical location, yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it, that this gallery is actually on the station platform.
Yes.
Even as we're speaking, you've got the noise of the
Of the
trains,
trains, yeah.
in the background.
That's right.
Which of course fits perfectly.
It's perfect.
If you took this exhibition away from this place,
Yes, yeah.
it would still work as a body of work, but it would almost lose another depth. that it
Absolutely,
gets.
and that's why it's so special and it's so exciting for me just simply to see the work here, because I've been looking at this work in my studio, but of course I couldn't wait to see it physically in this gallery, which is on platform 5, and it's these two platforms where all of these paintings come from. So it's an incredible opportunity. And again, this goes back to me being invited very kindly by Julie and the Platform Gallery to be the artist in residence. I firmly wanted it to be absolutely here embedded in the railway station. Yeah. And this gallery and this community space that we have here, which of course is within the building now, having been invested in by Northern Rail and the University of Bolton, is very special. So I want to do something that was, it is literally here on the other side of the wall.
That's right.
So for me it's a fantastic opportunity, and I just have to say now, to express my thanks to Julie here at the Platform Gallery and to the University of Bolton for the opportunity to to be here, and to all the railway staff actually who keep letting me in and out.
Yes, the railway staff.
I've been from the railway staff here at the
Very
station.
supportive.
Yeah.
But it's you that's done the hard work for the railway.
Well, it is. It's a labour of love, but like I say, it is unique because I spent so much time here last year, and you know this was only an idea, and then when you go away from the place, I really. We only put it up last night, so I couldn't wait to see all the work that was just physically outside. I suppose it's actually pretty unique to have a gallery where the work exhibited is just out, is literally physically just outside. We just thought of that, but
And what's coming next then, Phil?
Well, next, this is what happens with painting. Is of course I thought that this would be it here at the gallery, but having finished all this work now. I am hoping to commence another series of works which will be related to this work, but it will be a different scale, different sizes, and also some diptychs that are about the station platforms, because of course there's much more to the station pictorially and compositionally. So I have a big installation piece I have in mind if I'm lucky enough to exhibit it here at the gallery next year. So I'm already moved on to that now. That's the thing about when you have an exhibition is, you know, I've done this now I'm already moved on to something new. And there's something new has been inspired by this work, and actually having finished it, now there's other aspects of the Bolton train station. And so this is going to be a bigger multiple panel piece, I think, I'm not sure. But that's what I've started working on now. And two other very large pieces I'd like to do. If I can, so they're the next things I'm going to be working on.
Wow.
Here, yeah.
If people want to come down and see the work, Phil, what is the arrangement?
Well, basically the arrangement is, obviously because of COVID, we are here at the gallery fully COVID risk assessed and fully COVID compliant. But obviously because of the current restrictions, people can come by simply booking an appointment, and there'll be a contact with the video. So if people just email me or send me a text saying they want to come and see the exhibition, I can either do it singly or maybe do a few people at a time. So basically people contact the platform gallery or me, and my email address is lowercase pap2911@aol.com. So if people email me that address, I'm happy to arrange anyone to come for private viewing. It kind of makes it more exclusive in a way.
Okay, and we'll put those details up on Twitter. And
Yes, and they'll be on the Instagram page for the Bolton Community Rail.
Wonderful.
We've got an Instagram page there, and they're going to be on there's a YouTube channel for the group, isn't there? Yeah. So any contact detail will be there. So as I say, it makes it almost more exclusive.
It does indeed. And thank you very much for
Not at
talking
all.
to us today.
Thank you so much, Julie. And I would also like to say one last thanks to Julie here, who all the arrangement here in the gallery. Julie has incredible curatorial skills, so this exhibition is curated by Julie, and she's done a fantastic job, far better than anything I could have done. But it does really optimise the work. So, and I also couldn't have done any of this without Julie. So, thank you so much, Julie.
It's nice of you to say so.
Not at all.
Thank you very much for your compliment, and thank you.
Thank you very much.